Hey everybody, in this episode of the Riverdale After Show, we're breaking down Season 4, Episode 3, Chapter 66, Dog Day Afternoon. Archie plays Vigilante, Betty plays hostage negotiator, and Edgar plays rocket scientist. Were any of these successful? We'll tell you next.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's the Riverdale After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. Get in your rocket and fly away. Hey everybody, welcome to the Riverdale After Show, breaking down all the craziness that happens in Riverdale on a weekly basis. I'm Frank Moran.
And I'm Katie Walski, guys. What is up?
Look at that. And then, you know what? Making us look good and sound even better, Jonathan in the booth.
What's up?
Yes. Folks, as always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and everybody hop in the chat. Katie's got her computer up and running.
I got it ready for you guys.
And you were already reading the chat, the comments coming through.
Oh, yeah. I'm loving all the comments. Keep it coming, guys.
So we'll be breaking down this episode in detail. We'll do a little bit of news and gossip at the end of it. I think maybe have time for a prediction or two. But, Katie, before we break it down in its entirety, overall, what did you think of the episode?
Overall, I feel a little bit fulfilled. Now that we know how the farm kind of, I guess, ended, maybe, possibly, question mark there.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know what? I feel like overall in Riverdale, like, storylines end with a whimper.
Right.
You know, like the farm was built up to be this thing, and then this is the ending we kind of get for it.
It was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
All right. Exactly. But and I will talk about this throughout this episode. I loved that Edgar's plan was to build a rocket. He was going to build a rocket to fly away.
I just love how, like, I don't know if I could, I could just imagine them filming this scene and then just like, yeah, he's in a rocket, like, just trying not to laugh while saying the line.
I mean, at no point did we ever see him kind of dabbling in any sort of kind of aeronautics or aerospace stuff at all last season, even though we didn't see him too much. But it wasn't like he was more interested, as everybody was saying, about harvesting organs.
Right.
We never saw
money.
him. Yeah, we never saw him maybe even like in a picture in the background of like a rocket taking off from NASA.
Was he
or
like
something?
an enthusiast? Like, what's going on? Plus, where is he going in his rocket?
What was he planning?
Is he just gonna fly out of Riverdale and land in another city, or is he trying to go to a different planet? Where is he going in this rocket?
What I love is that you've succeeded as a cult leader when you can tell everybody that you're going to leave in a rocket, and everybody's like, "Yeah, you are. You sure are, buddy."
Take that rocket. We'll get on the bus.
We know you can do it, buddy. We know you can. But that's jumping ahead because there's going to be plenty of hot rocket talk.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
I know, me either.
But we start off with Archie and Mad Dog. They want to change the boxing gym into a community center.
I love that. Finally, I feel like there's a little bit of a purpose for Archie.
It seemed like that was a struggle throughout the episode. I guess, as always, Archie gets an idea in his head. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes the way he tries to solve that idea can be very dumb.
Right.
But he also has sometimes a challenge of trying to convince people that you should believe in my point of view.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time, Archie does come out on top. So even with his dumb ideas, like going against the thugs by himself, like the vigilante that he is...
Man, there are. I mean, I guess you got to still play into he's a teenager. He's going into his senior year, so he's not fully figured out his life yet. So while he can show maturity in some ways, where he can talk Mad Dog out of laying a beat down on all these thugs, he can say like, "Hey, I want to focus on the community center, really make an impact in Riverdale, invest in Riverdale." Mm-hmm. He can also be the guy that when he gets really kind of angry, he just wants to retaliate against something.
Flipped the switch and did exactly what he just talked Mad Dog down from.
Yeah. But the first step, and of course, if you're trying to start a community center, you need to have money to renovate.
Right.
You got to bring it up to code. Mm-hmm. Got to get a new restroom. That costs some money.
Yeah.
So they all decide, thanks to Veronica, to have a car wash.
That car wash. Thank you, Riverdale. There were some comments earlier that I think a lot of people were excited about the car wash. Maybe it didn't last as long as everyone wanted it to.
I felt already from the top that because Veronica said something like, holy cow, we've got 4 good-looking guys here.
Right.
I know what we can do. Cut to the car wash. So we see Reggie, we see Mad Dog, we see Archie, shirts off. Kevin, who's been labeled as hot, just sitting there in his polo.
Shirt on.
Yeah, counting cash.
Take your shirt off next. We want to see it. Come on.
Hey, what was that? Why isn't Kevin showing off the stuff?
Right.
Come on, buddy.
Kevin, we don't care if you have abs.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was a bummer that Reggie, it was great to see him shirtless as always, since all the way back from season 2 when he did the Red Hood. Hood video. But he has that sign up in front of him a lot.
Yeah, I didn't get to see his washboard abs, and I'm a little upset about it.
That could have made me think like, hey, you know what? He had maybe a cheat day the day before. He kind of overindulged.
I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, he
Charles
overindulged.
Melton.
Yeah.
He's in shape.
I'm sure he is, but maybe he overindulged in a little pizza. He wasn't quite feeling quite picture ready, so he goes, "Can I just keep the sign up?
Can I just hold this?"
Yeah, I'll just hold the sign up. I didn't get a chance to really kind of, hit the gym, get some cardio.
That was your thought.
Yeah, that's like restrict my water.
process.
They really get that skin tight abs look.
Right.
So what can I do? Yeah. No, but I'm sure on any other day, given a day or two to prepare, he would have been ripped and shredded and ready to go. That's my thought. That's my inner head is what is explaining why Reggie held that billboard
Thank you,
up for
Frank,
so long.
because we need someone to explain why there was a sign in front of his abs, and I don't have a good reason.
Sadly enough, I've nenever participated in a car wash. Have you?
No. I've washed my own car, but never of a fundraising car wash. No.
Neither have I. So, I have to take Betty or Veronica at her work when they get $400. I guess that's an average turnout, I suppose.
I feel like that's pretty good because car washes are $5 to $10 if you're getting. Plus, it's for charity, fundraising. So, I don't know. I guess it kind of depends. But I think that's a decent amount. Plus, Riverdale is a small town.
That's true. So you figure that's maybe 40 cars that they washed.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. I guess you can't do that every day. So how are you going to get to what Archie needs, which is $40,000 to do all the renovations that they need?
Yeah, that's a lot.
So now...
not even close.
Not even close. So, the other way is that, hey, you know what? You know who's loaded in Riverdale? He's got money to burn, and that's the lodges.
I was going to say Iron Lodge.
Yeah. And Veronica, that's tough. Do you... Because that's what Mary's quandary is do you get tied up with the lodges and take this money because it's not... You really haven't earned it. You're just taking it from somebody else.
Right.
Do you see it as that?
No. Just because I feel like him and Veronica have been through so much and, they're in a relationship. They love each other. They've fought tooth and nail, gone through a lot. So I don't think him taking the money from her is bad. But I do understand where, it's a pride thing, and I don't think he wants to take the money from her.
Because I understand, taking the money, say, from Hiram. If he came over and said, hey, I'm out of jail, which he can do pretty easy, and I'm going to give you $40,000, I would feel like there were many strings attached.
Oh, yeah, no. Don't take that from Hiram. Yeah. No.
But I don't think Veronica, she's, stepped so far, made conscious decisions to not be like the rest of her family.
Right. And I feel like that's why maybe she's overcompensating. I feel like this episode, with how much she's trying to always help everyone out, she gave Betty those eggs, which were worth lots of money that she did not have to do.
Glamourget eggs.
Glamourget.
I guess you can't say Fabergé. They can't say Fabergé, so I guess that's Riverdale spin another Glamourget eggs. Sure. So, as we mentioned, when Alice doesn't really buy into Archie's dream, he gets so fed up that he decides to take his anger out on the very men that are harassing Mad Dog's younger brother, as well as many other kids. Mm-hmm. Dodger, who kind of goes to the arcade, recruits kids, kind of threatens them to do what he wants, say, rob homes, whatever.
Which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Picks up kids at the arcade, then makes them do his dirty work.
So Archie decides to just put on a bandana and a sweatshirt with a hood.
Right. Probably no shirt underneath because we know Archie's style.
There you go. takes the bat and shows up at the arcade with Dodger and four of his other buddies.
Right.
And I have to admit, because I saw the shot, so they all come up, and it says it's 5-on-1. Archie says, I like those odds. And then it looked like one of the other guys hit Archie, right? Or did Archie take it?
I think Archie took the first swing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then we see the next morning that Archie took all 5 of those guys.
Right, he's completely, he didn't even have a scrape.
Yeah, a little bruise, a little welt on the side of his face.
So maybe one person got a punch in, probably.
But 5 guys.
And don't they have guns?
I would think so.
Like they're thugs.
Yeah. But Archie, here's where it is. Like Archie feels convinced that it's all taken care of. Nobody's gonna come back and bother him about this.
Right, and he took money from them.
Yeah.
So he took a bag of money from drug dealers, or plus more probably. But I feel like that's never a good idea. Take money from criminals. They always want their money back.
Yeah, I feel like much like Archie, he thinks he's solved the problem with a one-time solution, and it turns out it's not going to be. Because I can't imagine you're going to introduce Dodger like this and then just kind of wipe him away.
Right, be like, okay, now we're done with that.
Yeah, that was it.
Way to go, Archie.
Dodger left town. He was so sad. And I do like that they got all this bag of dirty money, and Mad Dog says, hey, we got to clean this first. Mm-hmm. Mad Dog knows how the world works.
Right.
But asks, can your girlfriend help clean this?
She does know the criminal world very well. But even she says to get rid of the money.
I would, why keep it? It just seems like that is just, Archie should know, as somebody who spent time in juvie,
yeah,
that's not a great place to be. So anything you can do to not increase your chances of getting in there, maybe it's a smarter thing to do.
Yeah, and aren't you trying to turn around and help the community? Can't really do that if you're taking this dirty money.
What do you think of the odds? Because it seems like by the end of the episode, Archie's ready to all right, Veronica, I'll take your help.
Yeah.
Take your money. Do you think Archie's just thrown away that money, burned that money? Or do you think he's got it stashed away somewhere and that sometime this season he's going to go I'm going to have to break into this dirty stash?
Oh, he definitely kept the money. I would not put it past him. Yeah, no, it's probably locked somewhere safe, and it definitely will come back up later on, I think. What about you?
I feel like you can't introduce that without it being some way to kind of bite you. Whether it's Dodger, the dirty money, both. I feel like you've set those up as 2 things that we got to see pay off sometime.
Right, and then his mom came in and was like, I can turn this into a nonprofit. So he basically doesn't need that money anymore, but I bet he will hold on to it, for safekeep.
Well, and we do find out that Archie does have some money of his own because Mary and Fred set him up with a college fund.
Yes, and he was very shocked by that. I don't know why he was so shocked. Don't parents do that?
Yeah, I mean, they should, but, then again, I can see why Archie was like, yeah, but I'm kind of a dum-dum sometimes, and I fought a bear in the woods.
That's true. He also did just fight 5 people, so...
Is that really a place? Should I go to college? I have no idea. But he feels like he can make it on a football scholarship.
Yeah, so he doesn't want his family's help. Maybe. Yeah. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, if I was Mary, I'd be like, yeah, let's keep this money just for college because I don't think you're going to make it on a football scholarship, Archie. Maybe if there was a boxing scholarship, you might have a better shot. I don't know about football. I don't know.
Mercenary X84 says 1 step forward, 1,000,000 steps backwards for Archie.
I like this impassioned plea about nobody else might believe in Riverdale, especially when Mary says, this is a horrible town that's sinking all the time. Mm-hmm. The crime is terrible. Bad things happen all the time. And Archie says he's not going to be like you and quit and move to Chicago. I'm going to be like Dad and stay here and invest in Riverdale. Mm-hmm. Now, if both of us have moved from our hometowns.
Yes.
Out here.
Yes.
So, rather than, do you think that's a lesser choice to move elsewhere to pursue something? Or should we make the Archie choice, stayed in our respective hometowns and invested there?
No, I think it's different for everyone. Me personally, I just wanted to leave. I don't know. I always wanted to leave. I knew it before I went to high school. I knew it when I went to college. I didn't move until after, but I don't know. I always just had something in me that didn't want to stay. And luckily for me, I have great parents, and even now, they always say, you can always come home, whatever happens. Like, you know, your family's always there for you. So, I don't know. I mean, I know lots of people who have stayed home in my hometown, and they love it, and they're thriving, and yeah. So I think it's a personal choice. What about you? How do you feel about leaving?
I much like you, I wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. So, yeah, I mean, it was... I took a year off through college and stayed in Florida and worked at Disney World for a year.
Oh my God,
so,
that's awesome.
So, I mean, it's like I was already itching to do other stuff than just stay in my hometown. But like you, I have friends that stayed there, and they seem to have very happy lives. So I can't discount their choices.
Right.
But I just know, at least for me personally, I think I would have felt restricted.
Yes, same. So it's, I guess, all about what maybe you want to do in life.
Yeah. I mean, certainly pursuing stuff like this, there are other places, other markets you can be in and do stuff. So
different climates. I really did not like my climate.
Nope. I would agree. Winters are the pits.
We're getting real over here.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. No. I never need to see snow again. That's it. All right. I'm going to ask you, what are your feelings about Stonewall Prep?
Stonewall Prep. Gosh, it's like a worse Riverdale, I think. Everyone's a little bit more stuck up, prissy. They're all know-it-alls. You know, I feel like the top people from everyone's class is just put together.
I mean, it's interesting because I feel like it's everybody, for the most part, kind of ceding way to Brett. He seems to be
the king.
The king there.
Of the school.
Because as he's described by another student there, Donna, he's a diplobrat.
Parents, I love that word.
Yeah, parents are diplomats, and he feels like he can do anything. He's got immunity. He can do anything he wants.
But I feel like that's very true. Usually, I feel like characters or even people in real life who have parents in power or hold a lot of power, they do get away with a lot because they have access to all those resources.
True, but I also find like, is that also a fault of the parents? That the parents should teach them accountability?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I think there are examples of people in those positions that do show their children
Yeah, it's not every single person.
Yes. You can't pay the big broad brush.
Sorry, yeah, we're not. No, we're not doing that here.
All you prep school kids, get that silver spoon out of your mouth.
You suck. I'm just kidding. No, we love you.
But Brett.
Just, like in movies, TVs, there's always that sort of character that, he has a lot of money or status, and that character tends to get away with a lot more. And also, yes, instill fear into other people.
True. And it can go one of two ways. One, he can pretty much just stay the same and he just gets his comeuppance at the end. Mm-hmm. Or something happens to him where he finally realizes the error of his ways, turns his life around, and helps the underdogs achieve something. Which way do you think Riverdale might go? Or would they maybe even go some other direction that we aren't even anticipating?
I think he's going to get what's coming to him. I feel like that's a Riverdale style.
No redemption for young Brett?
No.
All right.
No, I'm good with it. What about you?
Man, it's... I have to. Sometimes Riverdale will come in with the archetypes of these characters. Brett being one of those kind of the preppy jerk archetype. That you're, I'd like to see them kind of defy expectations or kind of just zig when we all think they're going to zig.
Not go with the status quo.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little something different. So I'm hoping that Jughead or that Riverdale will surprise us.
Right. Real quick though, External Shockwave 3. Says, my prediction is Jughead kills Brett, and that's why Betty, Archie, and Veronica burned his clothes and beanie.
Oh, man. Look at you.
How are we feeling about that?
External Shockwave just wants blood.
I know. That came from, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Oh, man. Who knows? Jughead showed some restraint so far this episode.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like Brett's getting to him too much.
Yeah, because as he's told, it's more psychological warfare. It's not going to be violence. And Jughead has shown examples of being able to outthink people.
Right.
As well as, his usual go-to isn't necessarily violence. He will get the people together if need be.
Yeah, but him taking on people alone usually is not his style.
Yes. No, hopefully. Because I do like him. Well, I mean, because you see the scene where they're in the seminar and they're all getting a chance to critique each other's stories. And I feel like everybody's doing like Brett, man, you're the greatest writer we've ever seen.
Right.
Holy cow, Shakespeare. Oh, man, kick him out. You're
Got
at the top now.
nothing on you.
And Jughead does like the false kind of like, oh, yeah, it was good. Just, because he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers.
Right.
But when really directly asked, he shares how he really thinks.
Yeah.
And you can see Brett not used to getting any sort of criticism and just immediately starts thinking of the most petty attacks and responses that he can give Jughead.
Yeah, it's childish and kind of sad that he can't take any criticism. But I know, obviously, coming from the one person in the room that you dislike the most probably, doesn't hit him quite right.
Yes. I did like, because the challenge after that is Mr. Chipping says, all right, I'm going to give you all the same beginning of a mystery story with the ending gone, and your challenge is to each write your own ending in any style that you want to show that there are different ways to end a story.
Right.
And they'll all vote on which one they think is the best. And I did like that they didn't make it continue on where Brett's the last and Jughead's the best, that they both blow it, and instead it's Donna that comes out on top.
Love that, girl. Girl power. Way to go, Donna.
But I actually was surprised, because seeing Jughead and Brett fail, I thought for sure at the end of the episode, when we see retaliation brought out, that poor Moose, who had nothing to do with it, is the target of that. I thought it was going to be Donna. Something was going to happen with Donna on that.
Really? I definitely thought that he would dig up something on Jughead, just because, he's the one. I feel like Moose really, I just don't get why he went down that pathway.
I mean, and we kind of jumped about that because he gets a reunion of sorts, Jughead does, with an old Riverdale pal, and that's Moose, who started over Stonewall Prep after everything that happened last season.
Right, but I mean, Brett didn't know that, so he had to have just done, because they're roommates. They're all roommates. So he must have just dug up dirt and found out that they went to high school together before this.
I mean, I'd have to imagine it wouldn't be that hard.
Right.
Because especially if you're the roommate of two other people, and as you're coming to the door, you hear the other two saying, and Brett can never know. Then you're like, hey, something's up. Maybe
hey, Brett. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just meeting the roommate. Hi.
Yeah, I guess he's like, maybe I should just take a look, see into this guy's past, see what's up.
Okay, I guess you're right. I didn't. Me, I'm like, oh, he didn't hear a thing. I was like, way to go, guys. You did a good job.
Oh, man, yeah. You guys were totally pulled it off. I totally believe that. And we do see that Moose, though, to try to distance himself from his past life, is going by Marmaduke.
Mm-hmm. Interesting name.
So give me, if you had to choose between Moose or Marmaduke, which one would you choose?
Moose. I know. It's not like Monroe and Mad Dog. Yeah, I don't like Marmaduke.
All right.
So.
Yeah, and at the end, basically what Brett does to retaliate is that he takes Moose's past, with his dad getting arrested for possibly being the Gargoyle King, plasters the newspaper clippings all along the halls of Stonewall Prep, and everybody's looking at it. I mean, I guess high school can be a very savage place, but it's also like, it's not. Moose didn't do anything. I mean, it was his dad. I mean, you would think that people would recognize the difference, but
it's teenagers, and they don't really care.
There's just something that they're hot new gossip.
Right. It's just someone to be like, oh my God, what? Okay, like, let's not talk to him anymore. Plus, I feel like the way to get to Jughead is through his friends and family. Maybe not so much himself, because I feel like he can handle a lot. But when I think you're hurting the people around him, that's what really ticks him off. Because, right, like, Moose had nothing to do with it. So why is he being dragged into this?
I think I feel like I'm going to get tired of Jughead says something or menacing or just like stands up to Brett, and then it always cuts to Brett, and he's kind of got like that look on his face. We saw it when he stood up to it was writing the end of the murder mystery, and he's going by the time. I'm like, oh boy. And we saw it last episode when he did his thing about Moby Dick. I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it, Brett.
It's just so true, though.
Oh boy. All right.
He's like, I hate you. Like, that's what I feel like is going to come out of his mouth.
But you know what, Katie? One thing that's never going to come out of either one of ours mouths.
Never. What?
Is that we hate any of our listeners. We love them.
We love our listeners. And, you know, guys, we love you so much that before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to thank you guys for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. So for us to continue to grow, we could use your guys' help. So if you are on YouTube right now, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to leave us a comment. Obviously, I love reading the chat, love hearing all your guys' thoughts. But no matter where you are, you can always get involved in the conversation. So being a part of AfterBuzz TV means a lot to me and Frank, obviously. And we truly do appreciate you guys supporting us. So be sure to check out all the other shows, okay? Because I know you guys will love others. I love them. Frank?
I absolutely adore them.
All right, and don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows.
That's true. You know, I have my long sleeves on right now, but I'm working on a big tattoo sleeve of everybody that I do a show with. That will get their face tattooed. So Katie's gonna get just permanently put on one of my arms.
Thank you.
That's gonna be so exciting.
I can't wait. I've never been tatted before on someone. This is exciting.
That's right. You know, one place you could get a tattoo is in prison if you wanted to.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And we got our boy Hiram Lodge, who is a resident there in the Riverdale Penitentiary there. But as we find this episode that just because he goes to that prison doesn't mean he has to stay in that prison.
No. Why do you have to stay in your prison cell?
I guess if you own the prison, you even if you're arrested and supposed to be there, you can come and go as you want.
Yeah, basically, I was shocked. I did not think, even though he does own the prison, I guess that thought just never came to my mind, you know? I guess it's just kind of for show. And if I was Veronica, I would be very nervous.
What I think is interesting, though, is that, okay, so Hiram is in the prison, and we've seen him there in other episodes where he's, lifting some weights, and then he's reading Jughead's obituary for Fred.
Right.
So I can imagine that when he wants to step out, he goes back to his cell, and I guess there's, he's got a little closet there or some drawers with some nice clothes. And he puts on his going out clothes, or just something kind of comfortable, casual.
Right, yeah, not too much. Yeah. Just not a jumpsuit, not a red jumpsuit.
He had a nice, like a little cardigan sweater with the kind of deep V to show that off. And then he just walks out, goes to where he wants to go, and then he comes back, and then he just takes off his clothes and puts back on the prison grays, blues, oranges. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I think they're an orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets, I'm like, all right, where is he keeping all these clothes?
I would think that he probably has a locker somewhere just in the facility. So when they let him out, he just pops right on over, changes, leaves, comes back in, changes, get back in his cell.
Yeah, but I gotta admit, where are you? It's pretty limited where you can go. You can go to his home, but anywhere else in Riverdale, people are gonna aren't you supposed to be in prison?
How'd you get here?
Yeah. And you look so nice. What's going on? We do see that he sneaks out, and he's got a beef with Veronica. Yeah. Because Veronica wants to change her name.
Yeah, well, he did throw her under the bus. So their relationship is just so confusing. But I feel like at the end of the day, he wouldn't do anything, she would still be alive. I guess I would say that. I don't think he'd ever let anything that terrible happen to her. But yeah, it's really interesting to know that he basically did the same thing to his father.
What was interesting about that, though, is because even last season when we got back into all the parents back in high school for the Griffin and Gargoyle stuff, everybody referred to Hiram as Hiram Lodge.
Right.
So he was already set up as that. Junior, senior year of high school for them. So when did he decide to change this name?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess it's sort of the same time around when Veronica changed her name. She just changed her name, and it's senior year.
Yeah, I mean, because you know what, I know somebody at work who changed their name. They went from Liz to Ellie. They decided to change her name, and it always seemed weird to me. And so there are people that still like, no, I'm just gonna keep calling her Liz.
Don't you have to be like 18 to change your name? I don't know the rules. Don't quote me.
No, this is a quote. This is a guy's quote. Yeah. If anybody asks you, I heard it from Katie at the Riverdale After Show.
Well, you can try. I just feel like there should be some age constituent for changing your legal name.
Yeah, because I would think, especially anybody that knew him, which it seemed like all the parents from Riverdale have known Hiram even before when he used to be Jaime Luna.
Right.
You would think that all of them would still call him by that name, especially as a way to kind of get under his skin. And we've never once heard this name.
Well, I feel like now, though, he does kind of instill fear, even to his old high school buddies. Clearly, he has connections, money, can walk in and out of prison. So what holds him back?
That's true. I mean, but I also feel like, do you mention a grandfather or father of Veronica's grandfather without that coming back to the show at the end of the year? Because by the end of the episode, she goes, hey, you know what? All right, I'm not going to take my mom's maiden name. I'm going to take your original name, and I'm going to be Veronica Luna.
That was kind of badass.
That was. But I also feel like it's setting up to see the grandfather come into town.
Right, yes. Maybe grandparents.
That's true.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I want to see the original Lunas. How terrible that they were.
I know. Do they still even live in Riverdale? Questions.
Yeah, I feel like no, because I feel like Veronica would have.
No, yeah. Seen them, met with them.
Although she never knew that, though, so they couldn't be around Riverdale, I would think.
That's true. Or he could have just kept them a secret from her.
Yeah. I mean, you could say, my parents died a long time ago, but they're still in some other town going by Luna. Or maybe even Riverdale.
Right.
That's true. You're just like, I want nothing to do. You could still be in the same
they
town.
might not know that they even have a granddaughter. This is a storyline Riverdale that we don't know about.
That's true. I would feel like even if you were in the same town and you were still estranged from your son or daughter, and then if they're that much of a popular figure, you would probably figure out that they've got some kid, especially when he threw her under the bus. So,
right in the newspaper, yeah.
She's got, changing your names. I can help you wash away those sins. Right. Okay.
Well, let her try.
Yeah, let her try. But a brief little sidebar here onto Cheryl and Tony. We get a little bit in Thistle House, where we get to meet our night nurse, Deacon, or Darius, sorry, our night nurse, who
Darius.
God love him. His
Gorgeous.
time was brief.
I mean, applause to Riverdale for really just finding the cream of the crop for these little cameos and all the other stars in the show. They really do find good-looking people.
Well, we get two interesting pieces out of there. One at the beginning of the episode where they hear Nana Blossom scream. She's standing in front of a fireplace and says that she saw the triplets burning.
Okay.
I have a thought about that. What is your thought? Go for it.
I feel like maybe we have the same thought.
Oh, let's see.
Her and Jason have a sibling.
There we go.
Duh.
All right. Yes.
Who is it? Do you have thoughts on that?
I wonder if it's somebody that we've met yet. Because I feel like it's got to be somebody coming from out of town, kind of like her
also
uncle did.
redhead.
Yep.
I did have a quick thought about Edgar's little wife for a quick second.
Evelyn.
Because she's redheaded. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really see that. I guess I was just looking for a redhead in the show. But you're right. I feel like maybe they'll just come from the outside.
I feel like, and of course, they'll probably be up to no good, and then we'll see what happens with them in the course of this thing. Like, anybody that comes into Riverdale is never like a good person. It's always they're just some creep that comes in.
Some creep.
It just causes some problems, and they got to get the boot. So, yeah, we see that, but then we also finally see someone else come across Jason.
finally, I was wondering how long. I mean, I guess it didn't take that long, but I was wondering when. I mean, because Tony's there all the time. Like, if I was Tony, I would have gone down there already, especially when Cheryl was like, "You're never allowed down there." Like, okay, I'm just gonna go check it out.
Yes. And I'm trying to get my hand, not that I'm a mortician,
Right.
nor do I play one on TV.
He's scared.
But Jason has been dead for several years.
He looks pretty good.
And even being embalmed and whatnot, there's still going to be some decomposition.
The smell, right, yeah.
I would think that he would not look as good as he does after several years.
Yeah, I don't know. He still kind of terrifies me.
But he's got a rat coming out of his belly.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Oh my gosh.
And how? All right, Kitty, I'm going to just ask you.
Okay.
You're involved with somebody. It's a really good, loving relationship. Mm-hmm. And then one day you come down and you see that they have the body of their twin sibling in the basement.
Right, yeah.
Post rat coming out of its belly.
Mm-hmm. Trying to stitch them up.
Yeah. Do you stick with that person? Do you try to at least understand what's going on? Or do you say, I'm out and just take off?
I would like to think that I would stay and at least hear them out.
Okay.
Just because I'm curious, okay? I want to know why you kept your sibling down here. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you want to know? You've been with someone for so long. You love them. You've been through a lot with them. I definitely would, I wouldn't say give them the benefit of the doubt, but at least have the opportunity to explain. And then maybe I'd run. All right. Because I don't really know if there's a good excuse.
I don't know if there's really anything they could say to me you're right. I was being foolish.
Yeah, this is fine.
I love you. I'm here. We also have our last storyline dealing with Betty, Charles, Edgar.
Oh my God. I've been
Polly.
waiting for this.
Part of mine is going to be segueing into my Riverdale rant.
Okay, me too.
So, great. So then why don't we just dive into the Riverdale rants?
Let's just dive into Riverdale
Let's do
rants,
it.
guys.
Kitty, kick us off, please.
Oh. All right. So we are going to talk about Riverdale rants, where we talk about the things that really grinded our gears on the show that we just need to hash out. All right, I'm going to start it off with the way Edgar died.
Yes.
Very anticlimactic. I was expecting something way better, something a little bit more of a send-off, not just a quick showdown by his rocket. Also, what's up with his getup?
Just like Evel Knievel?
Just what's up with the Evel Knievel getup? What's going on? His name was even stitched into his outfit.
Yes. It's the best. It is the best. This storyline just drove me crazy. My Riverdale rant is that, once again, you've got to make our four protagonists, anytime they're involved in a story, somehow they've got to be the one that's the linchpin to everything.
Right.
So you're telling me that over all these other FBI agents, her own brother being one of them, that it's going to be Betty that's going to take matters in her own hands, get the money from Veronica, get the fake passports from Tony, get the bus from school.
Steal the bus.
Yeah, I guess go to Pops and get some food and water for everybody and just roll up on her own without any sort of backup, without letting her brother or anyone else know she's doing this, roll up to this hotel and try to save the day, which goes poorly. And
Which goes poorly.
I'm going to double down with you on Edgar's death. Horrible.
Horrible.
I mean, one, we get to see Edgar channeling Chris Hemsworth from Bad Times at the El Royale, where he's got the shirt, and he's got the nice deep V on the...
What was that close-up shot on the stairway? Yeah, that was definitely... I was like, oh, we about to get a chase? What's going on?
Yeah, because he's wearing something totally different. He's wearing something black. So by the time that Alice makes her way up to the rooftop, he is...
Shut it off!
And he's wearing his Evel Knievel suit. But if you're going to set up that this man has built a rocket and he's going to escape while Evelyn drives the bus with all the farmies off a cliff, I want to see Edgar launch this rocket. You can't just show this rocket and not launch it. I know it's not going to work, but that's a better ending to see this guy be so confident.
Did you see the rocket? It was not a good rocket.
No.
Sorry to laugh, but...
You know it wasn't going to work, but you want to see it fail. You want to see him be like, I'm leaving, and then just fail miserably and crash down, and that's it. That's the ending you want to see for him.
I'm leaving.
I was like, that's what I wanted. And the fact that the show did not give that to us, instead of just doing, we don't even actually see him get shot. It's all we hear the double shots downstairs while Betty's coming up the stairs.
Bang.
And then we just see Edgar laying there. I'm like, come on,
We
no
missed
way.
the action.
Oh, Riverdale. I mean, you give us all this other stuff, and yet you won't deliver when you set up the perfect thing. Come on, guys. Come on.
And that was our rant.
Yes. Folks, we've got just a couple minutes left, and I know Katie has been scouring the news desk for all these hot Riverdale items. What do we got?
All right. So to start things off, Camila Mendez took a little visit to a late night show, Stephen Colbert, Tuesday night last night. And on the show, Colbert asked her about her audition for Riverdale. And she actually said that the day she went in for her first audition, she was very frantic. She was 30 minutes late. It was raining. Her hair was a mess. She was a mess. Although casting did like her, they asked her for a callback. They told her to be more glossier, told her to gloss it up. They said here at Riverdale, we're very glossy, lipsticks, cheeks. So Mendez went back home, studied some makeup videos from the YouTube, and she got her glow on, went back for her call. And obviously, she got the part.
Yeah, I mean, as she described on the show, like she got that look where it looked like she came right out of the womb.
Yes.
Which
right
was
out of
great.
the womb glowing.
Yes.
Fresh as a baby. But it's always fun to see them on late night shows. And also, according to Deadline, we are going to be seeing a new cast member on the show, and he's going to be Archie's uncle. So Fred Andrews' little brother. He is going to be played by Ryan Robbins, and he is going to be Frank Andrews, and he is a blue-collar former high school football star. He's tough, brash, and charming, but he does have a temper. He lived in the shadow of Fred, so as a result, he probably has a little resentment. And Frank is joining... He is searching for his own identity now that he is no longer under his big brother's shadow. So we will see what happens with his character in the coming seasons.
Would you possibly see any possible attraction between him and Mary?
Oh, definitely. Did you see Ryan Robbins' picture?
I'm attracted to him, and I'm just right over here.
I don't know. Are you guys attracted to him? What?
Hot dog. Katie, as we get ready to wrap up here, give me one super hot prediction.
Okay, my prediction. Evelyn is going to come back for some vengeance. She's not just going to let her mans go down like that.
All right. I mean, I got to go with the dumbhead Archie thing. I think his stupid Dodger thing. We haven't seen the last of Dodger. Dodger's going to rear his ugly head again. Yeah. Way to go, Archie.
Way to go, Archie.
And please, somebody, I predict FP has impounded that rocket, and we're going to see it blast off sometime this season.
I hope.
Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the Riverdale After Show. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thank you, everybody, for hopping into the chat and sharing your thoughts. But if you want to stay in touch with either Katie or myself, even after the show's over, Katie, where can they find you?
All right, guys, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at KatieWolski_.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Thank you to Jonathan in the booth for making the show run so smoothly.
Yes.
Folks, we'll see you back here next Wednesday night for an all-new episode of the Riverdale After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.